The Archeons and Zenthri had been locked in an endless war for longer than most species had been capable of interstellar travel. Their conflict had consumed thousands of star systems, decimated countless civilizations, and created a quarantine zone that spanned nearly a quarter of the Milky Way. The two ancient races, both proud, both convinced of their own superiority, had fought to a stalemate that had lasted 500,000 years. That was until humanity stumbled into their war zone, fresh from achieving faster-than-light travel, bringing with them something neither the Archeons nor the Zenthri had ever encountered, the concept of mutually assured destruction. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood before the combined war councils of both species, her small human frame, dwarfed by the towering crystalline forms of the Archeons and the ethereal plasma-based bodies of the Zenthri. Behind her, displayed on the massive holographic screen, was a simple simulation. As you can see, she explained, gesturing to the projection, humanity learned this lesson centuries ago during what we call the Cold War. When both sides possess weapons capable of absolute destruction, the only winning move is not to play. The Archeon Supreme Commander, its crystalline body, refracting light in patterns of disbelief, spoke first. Your species survived such a conflict. We didn't just survive it, Chen replied. We thrived because of it. It forced us to find alternative ways to compete. Trade, culture, scientific advancement. The fear of mutual annihilation became the foundation of our longest period of relative peace. The Zenthri High Counselor's plasma form pulsed with curiosity, but your weapons were primitive compared to our quantum devastators and reality warping engines. Chen smiled. The principle remains the same. In fact, we've taken the liberty of upgrading both of your defensive systems with our latest technology. As of 6 hours ago, any aggressive action from either side will trigger an automatic response that will destroy both aggressors. We call it the Dead Hand Protocol. A wave of shocked murmurs rippled through both councils. The human had done what? When? How? Impossible, the Archeon commander declared. Our systems are impenetrable. Chen pulled up another display, showing the successful infiltration of both species' defense networks. You'd be surprised what a species can accomplish when they spend most of their history trying to outsmart themselves. We've had to protect ourselves from, well, ourselves for millennia. It makes for excellent practice. The Zenthri High Counselor's form flickered with rage. You dare to threaten us? Not at all, Chen replied calmly. We're giving you the gift of peace. You can either accept it and begin negotiations for a permanent end to hostilities, or you can continue your war and guarantee mutual extinction. The choice is yours. We'll be happy to mediate the peace talks. The room fell silent. For the first time in 500,000 years, both the Archeons and Zenthri faced a situation they couldn't blast, manipulate, or technology their way out of. The humans, these newcomers to the galactic stage, had managed to do what countless other species had failed to do, force them to consider peace. And if we refuse? The Archeon commander asked. Then humanity will withdraw from this sector of space, taking with us the only people who understand how to disarm the Dead Hand Protocol. The next aggressive action by either side will be their last. And frankly, Chen added with a slight shrug, we'd rather not see that happen. We just got here, and there's so much we could all learn from each other. 24 hours later, the Treaty of Sol was signed in Earth's orbit. The 500,000-year war ended not with a bang, but with the scratch of a pen or its equivalent in crystalline and plasma-based signatures. As Ambassador Chen prepared to return to Earth, her alien counterparts approached her one last time. Your species, the Zenthri High Counselor observed, is terrifying. Chen laughed. No, we're just experienced in finding ways to prevent our worst impulses from destroying us. When you spend your entire history living on one fragile planet, Knowing any major conflict could end everything, you get very good at finding alternatives to war. The Archeon commander's crystalline form shimmered thoughtfully. Perhaps that is why we never learned this lesson. Our species were born among the stars, with countless worlds to spare. Well, Chen said, gathering her documents, now you have something better than spare worlds. You have peace. And trust me, you'll find it's much more interesting than war. As her ship departed, the former enemies watched in a mixture of awe and trepidation. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage not with overwhelming force or superior technology, but with something far more powerful, the wisdom born of surviving their own violent nature. In the years that followed, the phrase "to pull a human" entered the galactic lexicon, meaning to solve an ancient problem with deceptively simple logic. And in the great halls of both the Archeon and Zenthrai civilizations, they hung a small plaque with a human saying that had ended their eternal war: "The only winning move is not to play."